Okay, we're going to be doing part 2 of the Seigler SGN Matte Black and Green Limited Edition. Here's a up close. There you go, focus. There you go, limited edition. Let's start doing the main gear first. So the cleaning fluid I use is kerosene. I get a toothbrush and a bucket and just scrub off all the grease. I find I did a pretty good job. Left a little bit of residue, but I think that's gonna evaporate, or it's pretty much almost all evaporated. It's just my fingers. First, we're gonna be doing the spring. We're gonna get our anti-reverse bearing. We're gonna get our dog bone, main gear. Okay, first, and also we're going to get our bearing. This is a larger bearing. The OD of this bearing is, it's in millimeters. So 19 millimeters by 7 millimeters by 5 millimeters. So that's the size of this bearing. This is a ceramic bearing. Yellow side up. There's a black side on the bottom. Just gonna push that in there just like that. Next is the anti-reverse bearing. The plastic side goes up, the metal side goes down. You can see there, it has an arrow on it. So that's the anti-reverse bearing. Next is a secondary bearing. This is a stainless steel metal shielded bearing. The diameter of this one is, I'm going to say 21 mils. I was not measuring right. Yeah, so 21 millimeters OD and 12 millimeters ID. Height is 5 millimeters. I'm just not measuring it right, but that's 5 millimeters height. That's the dimensions of that guy. Put that in there. So we're going to move on, so put that aside. We're going to move on to the dog. You can see there's a little hole where my thumb is. That's that little spring to go into. And get our spring. There you go. Let's put that in there. It's a little tricky to put in, but you can get it. Okay, and that's how it should look like. Next, we're going to put that aside. We're going to get some pen reel grease, that's the grease of choice today, followed by Cal's drag grease for the drag washers. We're going to get a paintbrush. I already kind of got some on there, so just a little bit of grease on there just to hold it in place for now. We're going to stick that in there. It might be off camera a little bit. Okay, that's how that look, just like that. So you can see that's the ratchet inside. Okay, next we're going to grease the main gear. Get a jar, get a paintbrush, and I'm going to grease the inside of this ratchet as well as the teeth. That's the important areas of the grease has to be in. Just gonna get a rag. Clean some of the excess stuff off. Next we're going to be doing the teeth of the gear. Just apply a little bit. Okay, that should be well lubricated. Put that aside. Okay, it's lubricated. So next what we're going to do is you're going to be using a tool here. Tried selling this before off camera and had a bit of a hard time, so I decided to make this little wire. It's got some piano wire and just kind of see it's a little flexible. So basically I have a little hook. You can see it or not, I have a little hook on there with a little handle I made up so that when I'm putting this in, I just pull. So you're going to put this wire in, you're going to pull the anti-reverse jog up enough to clear the gear on here so that when it goes in, it engages properly. I tried just twisting it around, I couldn't get it to get in. Maybe the spring's a little not right, I'm not sure, but that's just the way it is. So we're going to get some oil, real oil in here. I just have it in a little blue bottle, it's a little easier to dispense out of because it has a little fine tip. Oil that up. Okay, it's oiled. Here comes the tricky part. We're going to get this with our finger. Okay, so we're just going to slide that in. Okay, I think that went in. Just trying to wiggle it out. Yeah, that's it. I don't know if you can hear this on camera or not. I don't know how sensitive the microphone is. I'll just put it up close. I'm not sure you can hear that. But that's in. I know you can hear that, but you can actually, I can hear that clicking away inside. Next is the, we're going to flip this upside down. We're going to put 2 fingers, just hold that pressure plate in. We're going to put some more oil in there. That's going to lubricate the anti-reverse bearing. Next is the other bearing. That's that. Okay, here it is. Set it on something else, won't lose a bearing. Slide that on. So we're going to slide that bearing. Sometimes I just do is I won't lose the bearings. I'd like to put the stock of the bearings on this spindle bore here, and that's so I won't lose the bearings. I just kind of lost it, honestly. Blend it in. So now we're going to get some oil. Make sure that is well lubricated. Next is the handle. But first we're going to make sure that hole inside is dry as possible. Just going to get a rag in there and just make sure it's dry, which it is. We're going to put the handle on. It's a little on the tight fit, so you're going to have to push it with your fingers. Okay, that's in. Now I got a product called Loctite. This is 230 or 263 Loctite. This is high strength. I don't know if you can see it or not. High strength Loctite. We're only going to put a drop on the bolts. You could use blue Loctite. It's a Loctite designed to be hand tooled or taken apart with hand tools, not with heat. But we're only going to put a drop on. I have a 2.5 millimeter Allen key. We have our stainless steel screw. We're going to pop the lid open here. We're only going to put a very small amount on here. This is very strong stuff, especially when the two parts are dry. That's it. In fact, that might be a little too much. Just going to wipe it off my thumb a little bit. You can see right there, it's lubricated. It is a liquid when it comes out of the bottle. It's going to give that a turn backwards just to make sure that it fits in. There's no cross-threading.